Hey guys, real quick before the video starts, I just want to extend a special thank you to all of my patrons and the people that follow me on social media, my subscribers, everyone that comments in the videos, that likes, shares, subscribes, hits the bell, all of those things. Thank you so much. Your support really does mean the world to me. So, let's stop looking at me and go do the video. Stay on.
Hi, it's Spyn, and today I want to talk to you about logical fallacies. So, just what is a logical fallacy? Well, to put it simply, they are common errors in reasoning that will undermine the logic of your argument. They can oftentimes be illegitimate arguments or irrelevant points that are often identified because of their lack of evidence that supports the claim. With that in mind, let's jump into the video and cover 5 logical fallacies that I thought were interesting, and all too relevant to the fandom, especially when it comes to social media. Number 1. Ad hominem. And we're starting out strong with ad hominem, also referred to as poisoning the well or just personal attack. These kind of attacks can easily be spotted as they have nothing to do with the argument at hand and instead tries to attack the character or intelligence or moral fiber of the individual in question. This type of fallacy tends to rely heavily upon feelings and prejudices to win the day. Here's a good example of this. Say you're having an argument online. I know, pure fantasy. But stay with me. And you bring up that a given person has made a great point that supports your claim, and instead of responding to the new information, your opponent simply disregards it and just says, well, they're a Nazi, so yikes. This can also lead to guilt by association. Because you reference this specific individual, you must also be a Nazi. These attacks hold absolutely no bearing on the information being presented and should be disregarded. Remember to stick to the point and make sure that your opponent does as well. Number 2. Appeal to authority. The appeal to authority fallacy is essentially the claim that something must be true because it's believed by someone who is said to be an authority on the subject. A hallmark of this argument is that will be the whole argument. No facts or research will be given. In effect, it is leaning on the authority of others to make your case for you without having to read any of the research. This is just the grown-up version of my dad works at Nintendo. The point here is that where it is okay to call on experts to supplement your own lack of knowledge in a given field, it is important to also bring not just their name, but their research into the discussion as well. So make sure that when someone throws a so-called expert's name out, that they have the research that can back up the claims that they are making. By the same token, make sure that you have the research and are not just throwing out names. This can be an easy trap to fall into. Number 3. Straw man. This one's the internet's favorite fallacy. I swear. I see it all the time. In the straw man fallacy, you construct an overly simplified and often highly distorted version of your opponent's argument that is easily picked apart. Most people are guilty of making a straw man out of their opponent's argument from time to time, but nevertheless, it is something that you should watch out for. And it is as inevitable as the heat death of the universe or the heart attack from the guy who says cholesterol isn't real and is obviously a conspiracy. That problem resolves itself. That you will end up making one of these arguments. The point here is to be aware when it's happening to you. Just be cautious not to oversimplify somebody else's position, as that's a sword that cuts both ways and will be used against you. Number 4. False dichotomy. False dichotomy, sometimes known as the false dilemma, is the practice by which you reduce an argument down to only 2 options, despite there being a wide variety of other possibilities. This one is commonly used by people that wish to force an individual into making a choice between their position and an exceptionally evil position, disregarding all the places in the middle or outside that they could possibly choose. Most commonly, those individuals will represent those positions as just as bad, leaving you with only two choices. All of this is starting to seem painfully familiar. I wonder which group of people tend to be associated with this style of argument. This particular style of argument can be used to guilt trip people into a relationship by stating things that either you love me or you hate me. This is why it is imperative that you watch for this, as it's most commonly used to create an us versus them mentality. Number 5, bandwagon. This one's a true favorite. The bandwagon is where a large group of people believe a thing, and therefore it is assumed that it has validity. Just because a large group of people shout something does not make it correct or scientifically viable. Always ask for proof. This one is very common, and I doubt that there is an individual alive, anyone with a Twitter account, for instance, that has not jumped on a bandwagon at least once in their lives. You won't have to look too hard for this one, because it is literally everywhere. The reason most people fall for this one is because people like feeling like they are part of something, whether that's a club or an inside group or whatever. It's just human nature, and it predisposes us to fall for this kind of thing. But the whole point is to think differently than the group, especially when the group is thinking something stupid and has absolutely no scientific basis for it whatsoever, and they're just relying on mob mentality and an echo chamber just to see them through. Logical fallacies are indeed everywhere, and from time to time we all use them, even by accident. Hopefully this video helped you learn how to identify different logical fallacies and recognize when they're being used against you, or when you yourself are using them. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and most importantly, I hope you learned something. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell, all that stuff, so that you're alerted when I make new content for all of you to enjoy, I guess. Hopefully you enjoy it. I really need validation, so tell me you enjoy it, I guess. Whatever. The link to all of my social media is put down in the description below the video. If you'd like to support the channel and wish to become a patron, that link will also be in there. And if you want to support the channel in another way, and you have ideas for future episodes, don't hesitate to contact me directly through my social media. My DMs are always open for you guys. And as always, I have some words to leave you with. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. Bye! It is after midnight. Why am I recording after midnight? This is so stupid. I should be in bed. But no! I'm here, staring at my script, trying to get through this.